Stick with it. Welcome back to the Los Alamitos preview show here. Now pleased to be joined by the voice of Los Alamitos with Mike Corona. And I want to, first of all, well done. Last week, Donovan Rosa, we predicted the morning line was going to be big. Was it big enough, Mike Corona, as you cash at a night price?
Yeah, thanks, mate. 30 to 1.
Yes.
Crazy odds, especially when you consider that 2 starts back, the horse finished on even terms with Tuck, who was sent off 6-5 favorite in the race right after O'Donovan Rosa's. So I hope that people watching the webcast might have thrown a few dollars on him.
Tip of the cap to you for that nice selection. You got every bit of that good price. The blinkers, were the blinkers off or added? I think the blinkers came on last week.
They came on, yeah.
Yeah, the blinkers came on. And once he broke with the field, we saw in that replay that we showed last week that he could finish. Once he was right there in the mix of things, he outfinished everybody. So nice selection, Mike Corona, for the big price last week that came through O'Donovan Rosa. So let's quickly wrap up the trials for the SoCal Derby since we have it here. I found out we logged up the TVG show right before we showed the final top 10. I found out via the social that there was a shake for the last spot once again. You would think it would be improbable, but it happened earlier this year in the futurity trial. Tonight, last week, it happened in the SoCal Derby trials. There was a shake to determine the last place.
Yeah, it's remarkable when you consider that these trials get clocked in thousandths of seconds, not just hundredths, but we break the individual times down to thousandths of seconds. Yet we still had a scenario, as you rightly pointed out, not for the first time this year, where we needed a shake to determine who got that 10th and final spot. Quite amazing, and obviously a very hard luck tale for the connections of the horse that missed out.
Yeah, that's a tough way to miss out on a final. But we'll have that final on the 19th, December the 19th, which is in a couple of weeks away. So, fresh off the bat, off of a nice long shot score last week, Michael Runner, we're going to put you to work. Double duty today. Double duty. We want 2 selections because you did so well last week. What race do you want to take us first here?
Well, I suppose it's just keeping up with the theme of the next 2 weeks for me, isn't it? Given that I'll be pulling double duty in the booth, calling day and night. So why the heck not take a double stab for our webcast? Look, let's start with race 8, which is a 300-yard maiden. I'm interested in number 4, Dutch Flat, who had 15 months between a debut third and his third placing on October 24. I found it encouraging, first of all, that after such a long layoff, they didn't bring him back in a maiden claimer. He came back in a maiden special weight. He had gate 1, and it was a decent effort. He had pretty much every chance, and he was beaten home by the favourite for this race, Meticulous. They're going to clash again Saturday night. But let's just take a look here from gate 1 at Dutch Flat, and Meticulous had gate number 3 on this occasion and finished second. Dutch Flat ran third.
Yeah, he's going to break in from that inside post. But I thought it wasn't a fast start, but he got away clean enough to kind of give himself a little bit of a shot.
Yeah, it was a solid effort. He was, by the way, coming back as a first-time gelding, and he was beaten 3/4 of a length by Meticulous. And on face value, as you look at that replay, you absolutely would have to think that Meticulous deserves his favoritism on the morning line for this rematch. He's 7-5. But Dutch Flat is 3-1, and he gets off the rail and has potential to move forward condition-wise because, again, he'd been off 15 months. So on that basis, I think at 3-1, he has a reasonable shot. When I consider that Bar Cartel number 2 is also 3-1, that makes me think that Dutch Flat is definitely worth trying because Bar Cartel has been bouncing back and forth across 9 starts between maiden claimers and maiden special weight races. He hasn't got the job done yet. He will get the job done sometime soon, and maybe it's this Saturday night, but he's the type of horse I don't mind taking on. And if he's 3-1 and Dutch Flat's 3-1, then I'm okay with Dutch Flat because of the upside of being so lightly raced and getting off the rail.
All right, that's the second leg of the Lead Pick 4. Why don't we go one ahead? Because I know there's another horse you want to take a look at in race number 9.
Yeah, this is a 2-year-old maiden. And I loved the debut of number 6, One Genuine Jess V. Debuted from the rail just 3 weeks ago. I thought it was an excellent performance versus a very expensive and well-regarded stablemate. The winner and the runner-up, both trained by Jaime Gomez. Favorite Question won the race, but One Genuine Jess V was very solid from the rail, beat the rest of the field quite comfortably by almost a length, and goes from the inside post on debut to the outside post this Saturday night.
Yeah, let's go to the Los Alamitos website. The replay page, easy to use here, November 14th. It was going to be race number 8. And this is going to be One Genuine Jess from that inside post.
Yeah, and there was just a lot to like about how tenaciously he dueled all the way. He had a clean trip, but again, the winner Favorite Question cost a pretty penny as a yearling, is well thought of, and this horse was far from disgraced from the rail at first asking, and you can see that margin is pretty comfortable to the third horse.
And I think one of the most important things that you gotta like about that effort, not only that he was game, but it's never easy, or it's never easy for a 2-year-old to, for a first-time starter to behave from that inside post. A lot of them want to tend to kind of move around, maybe lug in a little bit at the gap, but overall, it was a pretty professional race for a first-time outing.
It was. Now, having said that, and I was keen to follow this horse after the debut run, I didn't expect that he'd be bumping into Good Trouble, who comes in here off a layoff of 4 months. Now, this is a very talented horse, and like Meticulous in the previous race we spoke about, Good Trouble absolutely deserves his role as the favourite here. He's 9-5 on Ed Burgart's morning line. He was frightfully unlucky in a series of early season 2-year-old races. He actually got 2 futurity trial placings behind Golden Boy and Dash a Good Reason. He is very talented, and we haven't seen the best of what this horse has to offer. And if he steps out of the gate cleanly and everything goes his way, he'll probably win the race. But I did take a look back at Good Trouble's October 30th gate work, and he wasn't really that sharp in the first couple of strides. He just broke inwards perhaps a little bit, and, you know, he's had a few tries. He just needs everything to pan out for him, and he'll probably win. But at better odds, with more upside potentially being so lightly raced, and like my pick in the previous race, Dutch Flat, getting off the rail, let's take a shot here with One Genuine Jess V from the outside. And I should also mention Stealth Favourite number 2, whose form is good enough to win this race. He was a beaten favourite coming off a 5-month layoff last time, but his form is sound and solid enough also to warrant strong consideration. It's a good race. It's a very interesting race. And let's just see if we can get that improvement going to the outside post second start.
And since we have a little bit of time, I'm going to bring up the workout by Good Trouble. Let me see if I have it right here. So Good Trouble, a solo workout. This was October 30th. And what did you end up seeing in this work?
Well, just look for him to just veer inwards ever so slightly at the start. He just, it wasn't a bad beginning, but it wasn't perfectly sharp either. And you know, another thing with Good Trouble, this race is 300 yards. He does give me the impression that maybe he's going to end up preferring slightly longer. So if he just takes a few strides to get going, maybe the bird has flown. We've seen that happen to him too many times. The horse deserves to be a winner already. But, you know, maybe he's worth risking coming off the bench at the 300 yards.
I'm with you in the same analysis. I thought Good Trouble was going to be one of the vulnerable favorites for Saturday night. And also, to kind of jump on that workout, you can see he wasn't quick enough to my eye in the first few strides.
Yeah.
And also, when the rider asked a couple of times, there was no response. Like, he kept his even stride. When the rider asked, there was no reaction at all. So to me, he just looks more like a long-legged horse that should be better suited at the longer distances. And also, you see that he was nominated. You see the icons next to his name. He was nominated to both the Golden State and the 2 million. He didn't make it back in time for those trials. So something was definitely not right for him to not make it since July back in time to enter in those trials. So he missed out those big futurity trials. He's still a colt. They didn't geld him. So I still have question marks on Good Trouble, and I'm with you. I think he's a vulnerable favorite on Saturday night.
Yeah, hopefully the pair I've given you are viable alternatives to the favorite in each of their races, just by virtue of each horse getting off the rail, each horse being so lightly raced with some scope for improvement.
All right, let's see if that's correct. So one Genuine Just V, and don't forget Still Favorite, who had worked a very good bullet 12 flat prior to that comeback effort back on November 7th. All right, Michael, that's a good dose of two selections, fresh off the old Donovan Rosa upset last week. Hopefully a little bit of a taco money and margarita money off of that big price last week.
Well, yes, I did throw a couple of dollars on that horse last week. I couldn't resist. The overlay was just too great.
Michael, get ready for those double headers, and we'll see you out there at Los Alamitos.
Okay, good on you, mate. Good luck. Hooroo.
See ya.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit returns to Los Alamitos for our Winter Thoroughbred Meet. Opening day is Friday, December 3rd. The 7-day meet will have 5 stakes led by Grade 1 Starlet on Saturday, December 4th. Kentucky Derby points will then be on the line in the Los Alamitos Futurity on Saturday, December 11th. Plus, our on-track live money handicapping contest will also be held on December 11th. You could win a berth to the 2022 NHC. The Los Alamitos Winter Thoroughbred Meet opens on Friday, December 3rd.
Welcome back to the program. Now joined by Christopher Waite, live from the Bessos Club, and coming through you here for some analysis for this Saturday card, doubleheaders. We just showed the commercial there for the Thoroughbred Meet. If you're a local horse player, want to get involved with the NHC, you can earn your seat there at Los Alamitos during this daytime Thoroughbred winter season. Chris, a couple of races. We got a couple of selections from Michael Rona. How about that pick from Michael? We got Old Donovan Rosa at a bomb price last week.
Huge payout. It was gigantic. Incredible payout. This horse did have a lot of trouble in his prior race. He added the blinkers and ran to that prior numbers that the horse did have, and was very impressive and upset the apple cart and created only 2 tickets in the pick 6.
Yeah, so shout out to those 2 tickets in the pick 6. Very nice payout. I think almost approaching $30,000, if I remember correctly, for that pick 6. But let's get down to business. A couple of picks from Rona. So I'm going to make you give me a couple of picks for the viewers at home. What race do you want to take a look at first?
Well, I think you can take a look at a horse that showed some ability in the debut after improving immensely in that second drill. Look, the 3-horse Fussy. He's a big-bodied runner. I mean, this horse was a C worker in the first work, then improved with a C++. And then that debut had lots of trouble, broke very, very slow, was bumped back and crossed and took up, all kinds of strife. The horse was striding out pretty nicely far back under a hold, and I gave the horse a ton of trouble, something along the lines of, I'm not even sure, like 64, 65, something along those lines. Horse did come out of a post
number 7, right?
Number 7, yes. He broke very slow, a little fractious there, leaned back at the start, and had all kinds of trouble. It was just broke very, very slow, was crossed, and got rank a little bit midway and drifted out. You can't even see him far back when they pan, but the horse did show right there. He loses it, but he's under a hold right here, but he starts striding out very, very well under a hold, and it galloped out very, very well, and he was striding out nicely right there into the wire. And this horse did improve immensely from that first drill to the second drill, and I just thought that this horse, with everything factored in, did show a lot more ability, and he's in a decent affair where the horses figure along the lines of 1572, 1570. And with everything factored in, trouble track variant, the horse figures something along those lines off the debut. And with expected improvement, second time out, this horse has a look at a little bit of a price in tonight's 7th event, getting off that late pick 4.
Yeah, that's going to be 72 on Fuzzy. And if you look top to bottom, there's a field that really hasn't proven anything just yet. There's no consistent form. You have multiple class droppers going up and down. It just looks like one of those races where you're going to see significant improvement from one of these horses, and that horse might be Fussy there from Scott Willoughby and Victor Salazar.
Yeah, I give him this horse to improve and draw next to a couple of slow in the stride horses. So hopefully the decent getaway puts this horse in the mix and show that late stride he showed in that debut and give the runner a big look at a little bit of a price there in tonight's 7th event.
All right, that's Fussy in race number 7. Mike Corona did the task with races 8 and 9. So why don't we skip to race number 10 and complete the late pick 4? In race number 10, what horse did you want to take a little bit of a look here?
I'm going to give a horse to Scott Willoughby, another doctor horse. The one Lovely Evening. This gray filly showed me a lot of ability in all of her starts. She way back when was an A- and B+ worker. She's been having some trouble getting things going, but always close. And then 2 races back in that allowance event, this filly got so fractured she actually broke through the gate. And 9 times out of 10 they do that. They just don't follow through. But just broke well, finished well, galloped out strong, very impressive performance, and then came right back in a stakes race and minded her manners in the gate, had a little trouble, got bumped both sides, but big run away, finished strongly and galloped out strong. And hopefully if she can mind her manners inside the gate from the rail, she can run back to those previous numbers and give her a big look in the finale.
Yeah, this is the Autumn Stakes where she had gate number 5, and she went off at 8-1 this night, Chris.
Yeah, that was a good price for her after breaking through the gate in a prior effort. She broke a little slow and she got bumped both sides here away from the gate, and she's still relatively close up early, but run with the head cocked sideways a little bit midway, but watch her level out strongly late under a little bit of pressure and striding out very nicely, and she won rather handily, and she had run left to give. It was a pretty solid performance, and I think she's got a big look right back to get another victory from the rail. She can mind her manners in the gate once again.
Yeah, she wasn't the quickest out of the gate there with a little bit of a bumping, but the key is that she was able to keep her path. Once she kept her path, she was able to kind of find her rhythm and find her stride, and she ended up posting an upset there at 8-1 that night. And overall, you gotta respect her form. Look at her form. Aside from that stakes event where she went off at 13-1, everything else is either a win or a second. So she's been ultra consistent aside from that stakes event back in August.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it was from the rail, so I hope she's improved her her inside post stability here. I think she will, because she's gotten reaching better, stronger every lifetime start. In her last race, she figures really good off that last effort. So I give her a big look in the finale on Saturday night.
Yeah, it does look like just another commando, the 8-5 favorite. We'll go favorite no matter what, based off of those back-to-back sharp wins, specifically now drawing the outside post. But you'll go with Lovely Evening, race number 10. That is going to be an allowance event for the 2-year-old fillies there on Saturday night. So Mike Corona gave us the middle legs of the late pick 4. You gave us the beginning and the end of the late pick 4, looking to see if we can surround that late pick 4 sequence with a couple of winning selections. Chris, thanks so much for all of that. Are you doing any other handicapping for the racetracks in the Nightlines?
Yeah, we got some cash being piped in from races 3 through 10 at Lone Star on Saturday, and races we got trials at Evangeline down. They got some trials there going 400 yards for the 3-year-olds. So they go from races 4 through 8 at Evangeline Downs on Saturday, 3 through 10 at Lone Star, and 4 through 8 on Saturday night.
All right, thanks so much. Looking forward to those elections, and I will see you out there at Los Al live from the paddock with Christopher Wade.
Thank you very much.
Saturday, December 11th at Los Alamitos, it's one of our biggest days and nights of the year. The daytime action will feature the Los Alamitos Futurity, with points on the line to the Kentucky Derby, while the nighttime action features the prestigious Champion of Champions, led by powerful favorite Circle City, Flashback, Apolitical Pence, and more. Plus, it's another great doubleheader on Sunday, December 12th, featuring California's richest quarter horse race, the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity. Great weekend doubleheaders are here at Los Alamitos.
That's right. It's officially December. It's already the calendar, already flipped it to December. Looking at the nice green Orlando, highlighting the champions of both the thoroughbred and the quarter horse. The year is almost over. Once we get into December, there's a lot of high stakes action as we featured in that commercial.
Yeah, absolutely, Jose. And the doubleheader actions get really hot. This weekend, the Starlet is our main attraction. The Grade 1 Starlet, $300,000 on the line. Of course, we have nighttime racing both on Saturday and Sunday night here at Los Alamitos. And next weekend, what a weekend it will be. The Los Alamitos Futurity, a great 2 race during the daytime, points on the line for the Kentucky Derby. And that Saturday night, we have the champion of champions. We highlighted a few horses in that commercial that will be in action in the champion of champions. And the weekend wraps up with the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity, over $2 million at stake in that great race at 400 yards. And then the following week, we have the Southern California Derby. We saw trials last week, and we'll talk a little bit about those trials later on the show.
Yeah, looking forward to kind of ramping up this next couple of weeks of doubleheaders, both thoroughbred and quarter horse at nighttime. But why don't we kick off and talk a little bit about the thoroughbred? Thoroughbred season is upcoming. It's beginning this Friday afternoon, Orlando. You got the program fresh off the printing press.
I got the program here for the opening day of the meet. That's going to be on Friday, 1 p.m. first post tomorrow, Friday, 12:30 p.m. on the weekends here at Los Alamitos for the daytime action. 8 races on Friday, 9 races scheduled for Saturday, and looking forward to seeing the Sunday card. Like I mentioned before, Saturday we'll have the running of the Starlet, with points on the line to the Los Alamitos Oaks. 6 fillies, 2-year-old fillies in action in the Oaks already. In the Starlet. Again, they're looking to earn some points for the Kentucky Oaks. In a really good field, Jose. Ada, owned by Bioma Corporation, is one of the headliners in that race. Juan Hernandez will be riding the Bob Baffert trainee, and Ada is coming off of a victory in the Desi Arnaz at Del Mar. And she also won a stakes race at Santa Anita during their fall meet, October 24th. So Era looking for Bioma Corporation. They've had a lot of success running in the Starlet. They won the race with Varda last year and with Bast a couple of years ago. And it's a really good field, like I mentioned. In the field, Tonito, second place finisher in the Desi Arnaz, is one of the horses in the race. Flanagan Pratt will ride number 2, Grace Adler, horse that competed in the Chandelier, was also the winner of the Del Mar Debutant. She's one of the runners in the Starlet. Edwin Maldonado, who's always has nice success here at Los Alamitos during our meets, he'll be riding Benedict Canyon. Cairo Memories will have Ken DeSormo riding, and Ken DeSormo finished Del Mar really hot, Jose. And wrapping up the field, Mike Smith will be aboard Desert Dawn from post number 5. And like I mentioned before, Bob Baffert has a couple of 3 of the fillies running in the Starlet are trained by Bob Baffert. And on Sunday, we have the running of the Grade 3 Bayacoa, and another really good field of runners in the Bayacoa. Jose, 7 fillies and mares will be in action in this race. Warren Showtime, who's won so many nice races, super competitive mare. She'll be headlining the field in this one. And Moonlight de Oro is also in this race. Harvest Moon
It's a nice one,
will be participating as time goes by. Who's won several Grade 2 races at Santa Anita, will also be part of this field. So a really good group of runners in the Bayacoa on Sunday, Jose.
Now, did I remember correctly? There's 5 stakes and 6 racing days. Is that correct?
7 racing days, but yeah, the stakes numbers correct. 5 stakes races will be on tap. All of them have a purses of $100,000 or more. Like I mentioned, the Starlet and the Los Alamitos Futurity, they each have $300,000 purses in those races for 2-year-olds. And next week, we'll have the Soviet Problem for the fillies on Friday. On Saturday is the Los Alamitos Futurity, and the meet wraps up with the King Glorious stakes for 2-year-old males. So a lot of exciting stakes action coming up.
And if I remember correctly, once upon a time, California Chrome won the final edition of the King Glorious at Hollywood Park. If I remember correctly.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And speaking of California Chrome, his trainer Art Sherman, he has announced that he'll be retiring following the end of this meet, and we are going to have a special day honoring Art Sherman next Friday here at Los Alamitos. He'll be starting a horse during our daytime meet, and we'll do a few special things there to honor the great Art Sherman, who was such a tremendous ambassador for Los Alamitos, especially during that time when California Chrome was training here. We had just started our daytime meets here at Los Al, and Art Sherman went above and beyond, just being a great ambassador for this racetrack. So, we love him here at Los Alamitos. We love California Chrome here at Los Al. It's going to be a special time to share some nice memories and highlight some of the great accomplishments Sherman has had in a tremendous career.
Definitely one of the most memorable times during that era of the California Chrome here at Los Al. So in addition to all the great horses and the horsemen competing here during the daytime, remind the horse players about the NHC handicapping contest we have during the season.
That's right. Next Saturday, December 11th, we'll be having our daytime Los Alamitos qualifier to the 2022 NHC in Las Vegas. We'll have 2 berths on the line for the contest. To enter, $500, but $400 goes into a wagering card that you can play. It's a live money contest. You have to play at least 5 races and a minimum of $50 in each one of those races. And then after that, you can play, as much as you want, or kind of play it smart and kind of see where you stand at that point on the standings. But it's a lot of fun. We usually get around 100 participants in the contest. And like I mentioned, you get to keep whatever you win on that live money card. That wagering card is yours to keep. And of course, if you are one of the top finishers, you're going to get some prize money and also a possible berth to the NHC. So a lot of fun. You've played it before, and I know a lot of our friends that watch the show also participate in the contest. So we're looking forward to that next Saturday.
And one of the also prizes that I like that you have is the most churn. Even if you don't finish in the top 5 or the prize money, whoever goes the most churn, you get a prize as well.
I'll give you one guess. Who do you think won the most churn in our last contest?
Maybe a guy by the name of Dave Weaver.
That's right. Hey, you're going to give prize money for betting? Of course, that's going to be Dave Weaver's cup of tea right there, Jose.
Yeah, he was the churn king last the last
it's funny,
contest.
he came into the contest saying, I want to win that. I want to win that. That's perfect for me. And there's another player that it's always up there in the highest churn, Danny Chavez. He's a horse owner here at Los Alamitos. He loves to fire, Jose, and he's always one of the top players in the highest churn.
If you win the churn,
churn.
If you win the churn, you're firing. Dave Weaver's day has been like this. If you win the churn, so come out and earn your berth to the NHC in Vegas via Los Alamitos with the handicapping contest on December 11th. All right, should be a fun time with the double headers. Before we take a look a little bit about the Saturday night program here at Los Al, why don't we recap last week's SoCal Derby trials, Orlando? Top 10, here's the top 10 finalists. But on TVG on the quarters, we logged off right before the top 10 was official. I found out via the social and the website, Orlando, that there was another shake. We already had one this year in a futurity trial. Now in the Derby trial, another shake for the final spot.
Yeah, that's right. La Estrella Corona dead heated time-wise with just a dash of hero for Jose Flores. If my memory serves me right, they did the shake in the office of the director of racing, Scott Craigmile, and the pill that came out was La Estrella Corona. So that horse gets the 10th spot. But man, our trials have just been fantastic. We just keep getting these dead heats in the finalist standing board. Just such a competitive racing that we have here at Los Alamitos, and this time La Estrella Corona and the connections of La Estrella Corona with Big Smiles after getting that 10th spot to the Southern California Derby. That will take place on our closing night, Sunday, December 19th. $150,000 on the line in the Southern California Derby final.
Yeah, you can see at the top of the list, Monopolist, Orlando. Trials night is usually when he fires. He lets you know that he's still there. And he let us know that he was still there on trials night. He fired a big effort in 1942. But what a big effort in the runner-up, and a few horses behind him as well, as a dash of sign went in 1959.
The top 3 qualifiers, as far as time is concerned, came out of that same heat, the Monopolist trial. And if I remember correctly, if I'm looking at this board right, I think 5 out of the 10, well, maybe just a Dasha Hero that lost his shake may have been in that trial as well.
So I think La Estrella Corona.
At least 4. Yeah, it was just a very, very productive trial. Monopolist beat a really good field. And we always talk about how much we like a dash of sign. That horse showed right there what she's capable of. But J Best Boogie, that was a nice call by you, because you really like J Best Boogie after a couple of disappointing performances. She had just not been breaking that sharply. But Jaime Gomez, remember a few weeks ago, Jaime told us that when she didn't fire in the Millie Vessels is because she, after a few days after, she, he found out that she had been a little bit sick, that she was a little bit sick.
She wasn't eating well,
right. And he says that, that happened again in the last start. I believe it was the trials of the Super Derby, where a few days later, again, she wasn't eating right. So, they've been working with her a lot. And finally, for the Southern California Derby, Jaime said this time she was doing perfect, eating great, and looking forward to seeing now J Best Boogie, the real J Best Boogie, the one that we've been looking at, especially the way she won the Tommy Purser earlier this year. She delivered a huge effort in the trials.
She owed me money, Orlando. I kept chasing. I got 3-1. I can't complain. 3-1 on trials night on J Best Boogie. And a Dasher Sign was another one. They had faced each other, remember, in the Tammy Purcell. They both ran lights out. And since then, they really have not gotten their trips. They both delivered with big performances on that Sunday night there. Well, why don't we take a look at the drone shot, a drone replay review of Monopolist winning his trial. Here it is.
Yep. He's going to be from the outside post, I believe, post number 8.
All right, let's go take a look.
Racing. Monopolist is away fairly well. So too is In My Heart. Everlong between them. It's Monopolist out wide, hitting the lead past the gap. He pulls clear from In My Heart. A dash of Signers finishing strongly, but Monopolist too strong for them, too classy. Monopolist wins from a dash of Sign, In My Heart, Everlong, or just a dash of Hero for 4th.
All right, that was a look at the cool drone shot there from Monopolist, Orlando. Cool new angle that we've had now for what, a couple of weeks from the team at Pegasus Communications.
Yeah, a couple of weeks right after Santa Anita wrapped up their meet. Jim Porep has been spending some time here at Los Al, and he's having a lot of fun with the drone, and we're certainly enjoying a lot of cool shots that he's bringing us. We'll actually have a drone during our daytime meet. These 2 weeks during the daytime, we'll have some really cool shots as well, courtesy of Pegasus Communication.
Yeah, that's cool to see. So the finals of the SoCal Derby on that closing week, the official closing week of the year-round season. Also, I haven't looked at the New Year's standings, but there was a pretty good battle between Ruben Lozano and Oscar Pinato. Do you know if it's still as tight as it was a few weeks ago?
I think it's going to come down to the last 2 days. The way that yeah, and Ruben Lozano's got some nice horses in the big races. We know that Oscar Pinato's got flashback. J Best Boogie. So it might come down to the Southern California Derby final. And don't sleep also on the quarter horse trainer standings, Jose, because that's another tight race. Jaime Gomez and Scott Willoughby have been going at it all season long. And I think I mentioned to you about around June when Jaime Gomez took the lead for the first time. He has never won a leading training title at Los Alamitos, and he's won a ton of races here at Los Al, over 1,000 quarter horse races that he's won in his career, but he's never been a leading trainer. And I think he told me, I don't think I've ever been sitting at the top spot this far ahead into the season ever. So
he hasn't been, he had not been in contention.
No. Paul Jones dominated for a long time. Blaine Schwaneveld dominated for a long time. Adan Farias. The last few years, we've had a lot of different trainers that have been battling. Chris Odell won a title. Scott Willoughby won it last year. And now Jaime Gomez and Willoughby going at it again. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a fun battle there the next few weeks there, both in the trainer and the quarter horse jockey rider standings as well. So we'll keep an eye on those, which might come down to the final race day here at Los Al. Why don't we take a brief look? We were able to tab Mike Corona and both Christopher Wade for a couple of selections, Orlando. So they covered the late pick 4. Why don't we look at some of those, maybe a few prices along the earlier part of the card? First, we'll start with you. I'll throw it with you. I think you like a price in the first leg, judging by your nightline selections.
I do. In race number 1, I did make my top selection number 8, 2 Punch Cat. This horse has ran some really nice races here at Los Al, has pair of victories on his career record, both of those coming at Los Alamitos. But the horse that I'm kind of interested in, and I kind of give him a look here, he's one of my selections in my pick 4 ticket, is number 6, Run Manny Run, 12-1, Jose. And I was kind of surprised when I saw those odds. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw those odds. I like this horse. This horse has some speed, has shown a lot of nice speed. Ricardo Ramirez, he had a great week last week, won a ton of races. He's one of those jockeys, along with Diego Herrera, who has been just outstanding young riders here this season. Some two, pleasant surprises here at Los Alamitos.
He's been on fire. Not only last week, I feel like he's been getting multiple win days, like for a straight month. Like he's up there winning a bunch of races. You're getting a great price, because if you factor in that Run Manny Run just finished a neck behind W. Whitehouse last time out in that common event. What are the odds on W. Whitehouse in this spot? He's 8-1. A horse that can show some late kick there, but Run Manny Run has shown the ability to show speed to get himself into the race, and you would think that he's going to be close to the pace in the early stages.
Yeah, and we see what happens. Some of these horses that get, take the leap there, they'll stick around. They'll stick around, and sometimes they'll surprise you. I like a 12-1, Run Manny Run. Still, they got to beat the outside horse there, the Angelo Tecos trained 2 Punch Cat, but I'll take a little shot there with the 6.
Yeah, and we've seen this 25 claiming level produce some long shots. This level is where you get some inconsistent results there when you drop to the $2,500 level. All right, a quick glance at the second leg, Orlando, because there's going to be a big favorite. That's Midnight Somewhere. Emily Ellingwood. I want to say she has won at night, but I'm not so sure about that, Orlando. But I'm kind of leaning towards yes. I remember seeing her name.
She has ridden at night, yeah. She has ridden at night. I cannot remember if she did get a victory here, but last September meet, she had some winners here during the daytime meet.
Yeah, she's gonna have a big favorite there from Dean Peterson, Emily Ellingwood at 3-5, in that second leg. In the third leg, they're going 4.5 furlongs. Yeah, 3,200. Persistence with Milton Pineda. There appears to be a good amount of speed here. We talked to Milton Pineda on the Spanish side of the program, Orlando. He hasn't had this horse for much, but he's thinking the class drop and a clean start might lead to a good result. And
he's had a tremendous past year here at Los Alamitos. He mentioned that since November 13th, which is the day that he came back here to Los Alamitos, till now, he's won 34 races and finished second 19 times. So he's had a tremendous season over the past year here at Los Alamitos. He's kind of overtaking the barn of Risaldana for now. And Johnny Taboada, owner Johnny Taboada, he's always has some nice runners here at Los Alamitos. Milton hasn't had this horse for very long, but he really likes what this horse brings to the table, and looking forward to seeing the horse perform.
That's race number 3. North Cross draws the outside of 5-2 for Jorge Farias, one of the main contenders. Race 4, to me, it's a wide open event, Orlando. If there was a race that I really couldn't gravitate to anyone strongly, it was going to be this race. I've been chasing Blue Butterfly at 2.5 furlongs. I still think she can break better. Even the speed of Tiger Mom and even Sweet Honor, I think, will be in the mix of things. This was going to be a tough race for me to kind of narrow down. Do you remember what you ended up going for here in the nightlines?
Yeah, is Tiger Mom the favorite, I believe, in this race?
2-1, yes, 2-1 on the morning line.
Okay, I didn't pick her in my top 3.
Look at Orlando coming to chuck that one out.
Yeah, So I went with the 1 Sweet Honor, the 2 Badger Gal, and the 5 Blue Butterfly. Like you mentioned, this group is pretty evenly matched. So I'm gonna try to find a price here in race 4. The 2 Badger Gal, like the consistency in this one. The 1 Sweet Honor. We talked to owner Dan Wells last week. This was the first horse that he claimed here when he kind of decided to get into the thoroughbred game. Matt Fales and Diego Herrera. That's a good combination. I like the 1 Sweet Honor. And like you mentioned, the 5 Blue Butterfly has shown speed early on, not the last 2 outings, but I think this horse can still deliver a nice effort. Charles Treese, Henry Lopez. I like that grouping. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get a price. Hopefully I can beat Tiger Mom. Not gonna be easy, but hey, gotta try.
I think this is one of those races where you have to give it a little bit of try. By the way, great looking saddle towels for the custom thoroughbred stakes last week, Orlando. Those were beautiful.
And we gotta give credit to Mr. Dan Wells. That was courtesy of him. He sponsored those towels, the saddle towels. We worked on the design together, but Dan called us, and he had a horse in that race, Capture the Sea, and said, you know what, I would love to have a saddle towel. Can we make it happen? And we worked together, and he got it done.
Yeah, well done to Dan Wells, and well done to all the connections that competed in those finals last week.
Sure, and I gotta give Racehorse Supply. They did the work, the actual work. So give them a shout out there.
Yeah, they're the ones that handle the embroidery and the providing of the saddle cloths. Pick 6 will begin in race 5, 110-yard event, a little bit of a wide open event. I want to skip ahead to race number 7, Orlando. Christopher Wade and Michael Rona, we went through the last 4 legs. Excuse me. But there's a long shot price that I like here. And that is the 2-horse Defy Logic at 10-1 on the morning line. This horse is a full sister to Benevolent. Benevolent won a trial for the 2 million a few weeks ago. And Defy Logic out of that greatest stakes, not greatest stakes, just a stakes winner. I believe she was an overstakes winner, Bemused for Dr. Ed Allred. Yep. Yeah, she was a stakes winner, overnight stakes winner for Dr. Ed Allred. So this one is a full sibling to Benevolent. And I think Defy Logic dropping into the first time for a maiden claiming tag of 62.50 might show signs of improvement. Last time out, she just lost all chance, broke slow. But I want to show the replay for the first race right back on September 26th, because that showed a little bit of signs that she can break. She was the number 4 horse this night. This was back on September 26th. Her first start, she was 21-1 against males in this spot. Tough spot to make her first start, but she showed the ability to break, to get out of the gate in somewhat of a good order. She was a little bit green, and then once she kind of started losing her path here, she wasn't really engaged. She kind of just faded back and gave way. But I thought her ability to get out of the gate in good order is a good enough sign for me that she might improve with the class drop. She's 10-1. She obviously needs to improve significantly here to make an impact. But there's the pedigree. I think there's a little bit of a sign that she can break based on that first outing. I would give her a look there at 10-1 for Adan Farias and Rodrigo Aceves.
And, it's funny they mentioned Adan Farias. He's, we've seen his horses, they've kind of, improved as the year has gone on. Yes. The last month or so, it seems like a lot of his horses are doing a little better. George Duarte, who we've had him on the show, and he does our charts for Equibase, made that point that he sees that a lot of Adan's horses are looking sharper. You mentioned Benevolent, and I even asked Adan, and he's like, "Yeah, it took me a while. But I've been out of Los Alamitos for over 10 years, and I do think that my barn's starting to kind of start rolling, and he's really looking forward to the yearlings that he purchased at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale this year. He's really looking forward to seeing them next year. He's excited about about his upcoming crop of babies for next year.
All right, so speaking of Adan Farias, why don't we skip ahead to race number 9, which is Start of the Late Double. We previewed this race with Mike Corona. We have Stealth Favorite and Good Trouble, and One Genuine Just V, who appeared to be the main contenders. But you had an opportunity to talk with Adam Farias about his contender here, 619.
619, a horse that's coming off of a trial to the PCQ Breeders' Futurity. Adan admitted that that was probably a tough task for this colt, but he's put him in this spot, and they're looking ahead at the maiden stakes that takes place about around February of next year. That's for horses that had not won a race during the majority of the year. This year, the conditions was if you were a maiden prior to November 1st, you can become eligible to run in the maiden stakes. Usually a nice purse, about $100,000 or so. So 619, that's what this horse is being pointed to. And this is kind of the prep for the trials for 619. Here's Adan Farias.
Run by trainer Adan Farias. Several nice quarter horses in action for your barn on Saturday. Let's start with Enza in race number 6. A horse that has shown talent, just a little bit of trouble leaving the gate. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I see. She's a very big horse. She's very slow out of the gates, but once she starts rolling, she finishes very strong. So hopefully these horses are not as fast as the other ones she's been facing.
In race number 9, kind of a little bit of a similar situation. 619 coming off of a trial to the PCQ Breeders' Futurity.
Well, actually, when I seen the race, I was like, wow, this is a tough race the way he's in. But I actually like this horse. He's always shown ability, and we were waiting for him for the maiden stakes too. That's why it took us a little bit longer to run him. We had to work him 350. He gave us a solid work, and we're happy with him. Hopefully he performs on Saturday.
You just mentioned the claiming Futurity, and now he's eligible to that maiden stakes still.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah, he's still in the maiden stakes.
That's a race that you'll be pointing to.
Yes, we nominated that horse for that race, so now you had to wait until December 1st to break your maiden, so that's why we decided to go in this race.
Well, best of luck with the horses in action, and of course, you were very active at the equine sale with purchasing yearlings. Looking forward to a 2-year-old campaign with them, right?
I think we're going to have a better year. This year was a little bit slow. We're getting our feet wet again after 10 years, but now I think we bought better quality horses, and things are going to be different.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
There's Adan talking about 619 and overall the status of his barn, Orlando. He mentioned he felt like he bought a lot better stock this year at the Los Alamitos Equine Sale. Now with 1 year back in his belt here at Los Al, he's looking forward to next season with the barn and the new acquisitions.
Yeah, absolutely, and if his barn starts rolling, we're gonna be having a lot of winners from Adan Farias' stable. Make the racing a lot more competitive here at Los Alamitos. So all in all, looking forward to seeing what has him so excited. Let's see what kind of stock he's got, and let's see him compete.
All right, to wrap up the quick look at race number 10, a quick opinion here, Orlando. In your night lines, what did you end up picking on top in this competitive event?
I kind of went back and forth a little bit, but I ended up with the number 10, Lovely Evening. Horse coming off of facing some male horses in this race in the autumn handicap. Last out, Mookie, Cactus Jack, a couple of really nice fast horses that have won races here at Los Al. So Lovely Evening faced some solid runners and won by out finishing them. And now this group of fillies, just another commando. We've seen that she's also in good form. Has won her last 2 starts, and Goretti has also won her last 2 starts. We've talked to Cesar Dialba about Burning Dream. That little filly doesn't make any mistakes. He's told us. Cumbia has had some nice performances as well. So all in all, a very solid field. Runaway Witch, interesting horse, has won at a lot of different places during her career, but kind of had a really troubled trip in, I believe that would have been the Plan Handicap, perhaps. Can't recall, what race that was on November 13th, but just a really troubled trip in that one, Jose.
Yeah, and Runaway Witch has shown the ability to break better out of state. So you got to think that was not an indication of what she could truly do. So second time out of Los Al, you might see improvement from Runaway Witch. I think she will. Burning Dream was a Professor G 10-1 selection 2 starts ago. That one is going to pay for some Christmas gifts. And then Cumbia reunited Juan Leon. Juan Leon has been aboard for both of those wins. So there's quite a few options to go here in this allowance event to end the night on Saturday evening. So by that point in time, it's going to be two doubleheaders in the books when we conclude the Saturday night program, as we'll conclude this Friday and Saturday night cards. There's a good look at the program, Orlando, the pocket program for the daytime season, but also in that pocket program, you have all the entries for the nighttime card as well. So if players get that pocket program, they also have all the entries for the nighttime card as well.
Absolutely, you get everything, all the entire menu of races that we're simulcasting here on during the weekends. Lots of fun. Hope you join us here this weekend at Los Alamitos with some exciting racing action. The Starlet is the feature attraction on Saturday during the daytime.
Sounds good. Orlando, reminder, what time is first post for the daytime season beginning this Friday evening?
So this weekend, first post, 1 p.m. On Friday. On the weekends, 12:30 p.m., both Saturday and Sunday. First post during the evening action on Saturday night, 6:05 p.m. And we just have some news hot off the press. Next weekend during the daytime action, we're going to move our post a little bit earlier. So 12:30 on Thursday and Friday. We have a 4-day week of racing next week. 12:30 p.m. first post. And on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, our first post will be 12 noon. The reason is that we're hoping to have more racing opportunities for our horsemen, our horsewomen that have continued to support these meets. We're looking forward to having maybe a few more races next week during our daytime meet, Jose.
That sounds good. That's some good news. Hopefully they get to have bigger cards and bigger fields, and with good support from the horsemen and women there in the entry box. Orlando, thanks so much for all the insight and the interviews. We'll catch you next week here on the preview show.
Looking forward to next week, Jose. Champion of Champions, the 2 million. We're going to have a special post position draw on Wednesday, December the 8th. It'll be live on TVG, 3 p.m. Pacific. All the horsemen will be joining us to select their post positions, Jose. There's some strategy involved there. They get to select their post positions if they get a random number high enough to do that. They have a chance to place their horse where they feel has the best opportunity to win the Champion of Champions or the 2 million futurity, Jose. Looking forward to it.
That should be fun. Don't miss out the post position draw there on TVG. We'll see you out here next week, Orlando.
Thanks so much, Jose. Have a great day.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. On Sunday, August 1st, a one-night carryover of $14,000 led to an outstanding total pool of over $132,000. And the payouts are tremendous, highlighted by a season-high payout of over $94,000 on May 21st. And remember, on Sunday nights when there's not a carryover, Los Alamitos will add $10,000 to the pick six pool. Talk about some good old-fashioned pick six excitement at Los Alamitos. The traditional $2 pick six, a great bet, a great deal. It's happening at Los Alamitos.